Hello everyone, welcome back to a very sunny day here at Ickleton. We're back here with that, and we've got another, this is weird, this is the second new driver we've seen in this series, isn't it? So let's show the people what we've got. So we've got a G425, this is the predecessor to your G425 irons that we're going to be getting later on in the year. So Al's proper kitting his son out, and rightfully so. I think he's treating himself because scores wise, what have we seen last few times out?
89 and 85.
So they're starting to tumble dramatically. We did say for quite a while that we felt like we were progressing massively and scores weren't coming. Now they're starting to come. You're a proper golfer now. Let's get this driver fine-tuned.
Yep.
Let's get into it. Let's have a look at current makeup of this driver then. So we've got Tor 65 shaft, so this is the slightly heavier one, isn't it? In stiff, yeah?
Yep.
65 grams in stiff. G425 max, so this is probably one of the most forgiving drivers that I've seen it last like a few years. 10.5 currently down to, is it 9.5 and flat?
Yeah.
Cool, and then we've got weight in the heel as well. Wicked. You've told me that you've been liking this driver recently, and on the evidence of that shot there, middle strike, pretty straight. 249 carry, was it that one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see why I like it. It's pretty good, that.
All right, mate.
Right, let's have a look at some numbers then. Let's see what's going off. So, right then, let's get into this. Let's see what just happened on that last shot alone. So, strikes, you're doing a cracking job of regulating where they're coming out at middle. Path and face-wise, it's all pretty settled down. Apart from one, we had one where you just opened face a little bit too much. That got up to about 6 degrees and we just missed fairway to right. We're hitting it 2 degrees on the up. The only slight concern that I've got is that you're delivering quite a lot of loft. So there's 26 degrees of loft on that last one. Launch angle was 14 degrees due to strike being a little bit lower. Ideally for you, to really maximise out on your distance, I'd like to see you deliver something like 20 degrees aloft, a little bit less, and then start to launch it at 13 degrees or somewhere around that mark, but with a strike that was slightly higher. If we can do that, then that'll bring your spin rates down. For the time being, though, that is so nitpicky, isn't it?
Yeah, we've gone so far so quickly.
Yeah.
That we've got to remember that I'm a 23 handicapper.
You've got your tendencies to the point where like you're starting to really hit fairways 8 out of 10 times now. Yeah. Distance wise, obviously with your speed, you get away with it a little bit. You're like 234 carry, 238, 242, 247. So the good distances, because you've got a lot of speed, like obviously with you've got potential to carry it like 275, which is mad. We could definitely look to get into that kind of stuff today, but I don't want to sacrifice your consistency that you've got at the minute to gain that little bit extra bit of distance. You know what I mean? I almost think,
half sensible about it.
Is that being a bit greedy? That's like me thinking. So we'll have a bit of an experiment with it. If it don't quite work, then let's hope we can go back to this pretty quickly. Just get you in slightly spinny drives that are 250 down there and hitting fairway. It's a good spot to be in, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because we've been seeing Al deliver excessive loft, one thing that we've done, his driver was in 9.5 degrees and in a flat setting. I think the flat setting's good for 12, you hold face open and hit fairways and stuff, but in order to get this dynamic loft down a little bit, we've gone down to 9 degrees. I seem to think it's going to make a minimal difference, and it might have to be a slight technique change that we'll talk about a little bit later on. But just out of curiosity, quad's back set up, we're down at 9 degrees, and let's see if we can get away from delivering 26 degrees of loft and get it a little bit nearer. We're only changing this half degrees on club. I seem to think it might only change it half degrees when we come to it itself. But we've got to find out.
It's just compound little things, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's the thing, if this makes a tiny little difference and make a little change.
Yeah.
It's just those little differences, isn't it?
And if you're happy still hitting fairway with it not being in flat, then it's like, all right, cool.
Yeah, that's all it is. That's literally the only reason it's in flat is because I was pissing around.
Yeah.
I went, oh, that works.
Yeah.
You leave it there. It's when 2 or 3 work and you're like, I don't know why they work.
Yeah. That'll good. That's only a thing when you start to faff. You've got to know that there's something behind it when you are messing.
I don't like. I fiddle around just for the sake of having a look. There's nothing to it. There's no way with that. I always put it back into what works on the course and right, leave it. That
was a lot better than I thought it was going to be. Let me show you.
That's more like it.
So we see the same path and face numbers because you're really good at doing that now, but with a slightly higher strike, that dynamic loft down to like 20 degrees. We launched it at 13, like I said, spins down at 2,700 now, which is still like It's very playable. That for me, if you're going long drives, you'd want to be lower than that. But in order to hit fairways, 2.7's a great number for you to be at. I think 3,800 is too excessive and a bit too spinny. 2.7's like mint. And then obviously distance-wise, we see it go to 2.56. So we've picked up, you probably average drive about 240, 14 yards, and we've only messed with your driver a little bit. So if we can keep doing that, the thing that was really impressive on that one was that you've moved your strike higher. So it might have been a case that with you hitting it high, subconsciously you've had to move your strike lower to keep it lower, do you know what I mean? But all that does is spin it more. Yeah. So let's put you down in a lower loft, strike it higher out of face and just hit bombs now. Yeah, that's really good, that. Strikes like, oh my god, that's ridiculous. How far's that one gone? 248. That's what happened on this one. Face and path, 0.2, 0.1. Strike slightly above centre again. All this is so much better now. 20 degrees aloft delivered, not 26. Launching at 12, not 16, 17. Yeah. Spinning at 2.7, not 3,800. And again, distance, 2.48. Way better. Yeah. Good to see that, like, you don't have to have it in flat to hit fairways, you know what I mean? You could do that.
Like I said, this is what I don't do to when I just piss around. Mm-hmm. It's just because that's, like, literally, I put it in that and it worked.
Yeah.
Like, I was on the course, everything was going that way. And I was mid-round, I was like, just pissing around, and I was like, fuck, put it flat. And it went straight. Mm-hmm. So it just stayed there.
Yeah.
Not because I know that it would just, I'm like, well, we'll just see Jack. Yeah. But I said to you, it's just going right to left one, but we'll sort it out.
Mm-hmm. Flight-wise as well, we're not seeing any craziness left to right. So I think having it in that heel setting, toe setting, sorry, with the weight, that again is just helping you deliver a square face.
What did I hear? Who was talking about it? It was THG on YouTube. We're saying this has got an incredible amount of weight in the heel already.
Yeah.
So they're trying to turn it that way.
Yeah.
And as soon as I put it in the draw setting.
Maddie's driver that can do that, I think it's that straight flight one. Because you got in the G425 Max, you can change the weight.
I don't get it.
It's just fixed.
I don't get it. All it is that there.
Yeah.
All fixed and you can't move it.
So you'll go for a lesson and you fix your flies.
Exactly.
You just start hooking a new 400 quid driver then, won't you?
You're 400 quid driver, you're like, just move it.
Yeah, isn't it?
I don't get it.
Right. That's it. Right, slight diversion. So we're both happy with where driver is at the minute. We just had a bit of a situation where one of the greenkeepers were cutting, so we've had to go short in length of the shots that we hit. But we have mentioned that we'd like to do some trajectory control stuff. So we've got a 7-iron. We're looking at like dynamic loft delivered. And let's see if we can almost incorporate a punch shot now. Let's see if we can add a punch shot to the toolbox, eh? Exactly. Toolbox bingo. Ding, ding, ding.
Take them off. That's what I've got.
So just for experiment purposes, just at a normal 7-iron, let's see what loft you deliver, right. And then let's see what kind of windows we can look to move into. That's a good one. Good strike. So on that one we saw 27 degrees aloft, strike a little bit low and a little bit heely, but all in all, you know, not a disastrous shot, distance-wise, 171, mental. So let's have a look then. So we'll think about hitting it lower now. What we have to do is we have to move this dynamic loft down from 27 to less than 27. That's all it is. Yeah, I want you to try and keep the same speed in. Clubhead speed on that occasion was 93 mile an hour. So you said you feel like your punch shots are a shortened version of your full shots with like an abbreviated follow through.
More like, rather than a shortened full shot, it's more like an extended bumper run.
Got you. Right, like that. So let's see if you can keep the speed in, but with those ideas that we spoke about off camera, see if you can get that handle leaning forward and take some loft off now. I like ball backing stance, that's a good idea to have. I like presetting that angle to start with. I like weight left side as well. Good, just a little bit drawy. So that last shot was really good. Strike, if anything, a tiny bit heavy, but pretty centred. Loft down to 20 degrees. We saw a massive change in trajectory. It was a lot lower, a lot more
penetrating.
Yeah, piercing, that's what I was going to say. Yeah, along the same lines. One thing we have noticed though, when Al does go drawy, when Al does go lower, he goes drawy. So that's something definitely to factor in. When we're playing the punch shots out on course, you can't be aiming straight at flags. It's got to be right hand side and it's a low punch into thingies now. Wicked. Obviously later on down the line, if you want to work towards a straight punch shot or a faded punch shot, we can always do that. So we just did some controlling loft stuff then. I think you've hit a few nice punch shots there to finish too, which is really good. Driver, as we've just said off camera, is in such a perfect spot for you now. You're getting the numbers which are like really optimising what you're doing, which is just mint. So
they're only going to improve when I get more comfortable with it.
Absolutely.
Less than a week.
That's crazy, that's crazy. Yeah. So I think you like almost semi-fitted yourself correctly. Yeah. We made a couple of minor tweaks today and it's just in most perfect spot. So next up, you said earlier we're going to do some more short game stuff, revisit that. I look forward to that. That's cool. Then keep up the good work.